What is going on, everyone? My name is Boyd. I'm back with some more Age Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the top of the map in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is Ibering Life, also known as Shelty the Snake Shelton, all the way from England. I was going to give him his town away, but I don't know where he lives, but I'm just going to say London, England, because that's basically all of England, right? And playing Thor in this best of the best winners final. This is the winners final of the best tournament. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Set. His name is Joe. He is literally a Joey. Like, you know, the small kangaroo? That's actually who he is. He's somehow been trained to play Asian mythology at a ridiculously high level. And the Joey doesn't even have opposable thumbs, or like fingers or anything like that. So I don't even know how he can hit the hotkeys, but he manages to do so. So we've got the snake against the Joey in this winners final for the best of the best tournament, hosted by DoD's very own Shelty here, who's decided to play Thor. This is possibly a a historic moment in all of the Age of Mythology tournaments. This is the first, I know it's not the grand final, but this is the first final we've seen where somebody seriously picks Thor in an attempt to take down their opponent. Shelty picking Thor to take down Joe's Set. The question is going to be, what does Joe go for in order to deal with the Thor? Set, not the worst god, not the best god in the current patch. This is 4.0. We're still on 4.0, ladies and gentlemen. Even though 5.0 has come out, this gold mine still only has 500 gold in it, so you still have to play around that. But what does Set do? Set has access to Anubis, incredibly strong god against Norse, because the Anubites can run in, cause havoc on the Norse economy while the Egyptian economy gets ahead. The other option is to go Tar and utilize some shifting sands trickery with the Pharaoh, with some priests early to get some harass onto the hunt, and attempt to get some early villager kills into second town centers and things like that. We do see Joe spamming up the temple as fast as he can. So this is looking as though we're going to be seeing Tar here from Joe, not going for Anubis. So there's other options. You don't have to go for an immediate second town center here. The map is painted desert. It's 2 rhino painted desert, which means by the time Shelty finishes with his rhino, he's going to be on secondary hunt, which means that Set can go for aggressive classical age stuff here. But we do see that it's looking like a second town center for Joe. He sees the gold mine. He sees the hunt. He sees the wood line, and he's like, yup, I'm going to town centers and there's nothing you can do about it. So not the most ideal of maps here for Shelty's Thor. However, just because Set gets a good map doesn't mean that Shelty is not going to be equally happy. We'll see how he's going to go. We see what he goes for. Maybe he goes for an immediate second town center here. Maybe he goes for a lot of other things. We see Hyena moving in. The problem with Set against Norse, as opposed to Ra against Norse, is that Set gets the vision. Set gets the Hyena to scout. So Set can deny an immediate second town center from Norse, utilizing shifting sands to pull his units off of this town center. So maybe Shelty needs to go for something different. But there's the 4-minute advance time from Joe. There's the vision onto Shelty's base. He should definitely split up these goat. There's the shifting sands onto the villagers here. There's a perfectly reasonable tower for him to get into. The villagers do not get sniped at all as Joe is retreating away now from this location. We've got Freya on the way. Villagers moving over onto these chicken here as he's going to be able to sit on this one. How much wood do we have in the bank right now for Shelty? Only 80 wood. Maybe shouldn't have built these 2 houses here as he's getting pushed back. The answer to this is always to get forest fire coming down to deny this. He's picking off a couple of units there. The Wadjet getting targeted down. Villagers coming in. The priest just about to fall. The Pharaoh doing a lot of damage, though, to these units. And the Priest goes down. The Pharaoh retreating back. And Shelty onto his chickens now, able to deny these units. The Pharaoh attempting to take down Hrolf Runehilt, but not able to do so. The Pharaoh retreating back. And now we see Joe going for his town center, but the Ulfsark already in. We've got one random elephant here pushing over here. The Pharaoh retreating back, and the Valkyrie is going to be making her way straight to this town center, but the Priest already here to deny that one. And now the shifting sands that Joe's done here has done nothing except for delay Shelty's economy slightly. So Shelty needs to consider now coming over to the Gazelle or coming over to the Hunt right here. He's got units. Maybe he's concerned about what is coming his way for maybe the follow-up, but Joe is not going for a classical army here. He's going for this town center. We see an Ulfsark coming in. The Valkyrie coming straight onto this villager. The Pharaoh can push this away as he does manage to get one shot onto the Valkyrie before it goes back. Once the Valkyrie is at full speed, the Pharaoh does not hit that one because he's only got a track rating of 5.0. We do see the Valkyrie spotting these villagers over here. The harassment from Shelty right now, absolutely great for him right now, as the Valkyrie gonna get sniped, though it does get sniped. The villager does not go down, unfortunately, for Shelty. Now Herser coming in. There's still a couple of low HP Herser, but he will be able to push off this location. Now the villager's moving forward onto the Hunt, as Shelty has stopped producing units for some reason. Not sure what he's going for, potentially going for a semi-fast heroic with just a couple of raiding cavalry. Not a bad idea. And now the villagers getting pushed off. We do see that Joe is struggling to produce units right now as the Pharaoh gets sniped. Nice play here. There's a relic here. Dwarven Calipers. Pick that relic up for sure. Not a bad one at all. We also have this relic over here that I did not discuss, which is the Eye of Ornlu. More of a better relic for the Egyptian player than the Norse player, but we'll see if it does come in some handiness later. And now we see some more raiding cavalry coming out, as I think Shelty sees that he has an option to run through here, but Joe's smart enough to recognize this. Going to throw up the wooden wall here. No forest fire remaining because the forest fire was used to counter the early pressure that Joe was putting on, and he can try and break through this wooden wall, but he's not going to be able to. Really nice play here from Joe in order to hold on to his Hunt. And we'll see what he does. He does have one monument to the villagers here. There's the second town center for Shelty as he's starting to produce some more units. Going to be staying in the classical age. An interesting decision, because I do think that the semi-fast heroic here for Shelty is ideal, but I guess having this town center here is going to be fine as well. He doesn't necessarily have to produce any more units. It's just going to give him some more population, some more villager production to play with if he wants to, because these raiders are not going to get all too much more done at this point because of how good the map for Joe is. Surprised to see no like walls over here just to make life a little bit difficult, but the raiders do find their way onto this watchtower in order to make their way into Joe's base. He hasn't thrown up wall segments around here either at this point. And there's the town center up for Shelty. He's in a fantastic position right now. And we don't see any more units getting built. So this is just simply a delayed two town center into the heroic age for Shelty. Really smart play. He's going after the Pharaoh yet again, but he's not going to be able to pick that one off. Nice micro from Joe. He's moving over here to try and empower the armory, but it looks like the units will get out of here, not taking too much damage. Attempting to pick this one off. Maybe it would have been worth it to sacrifice. Probably not. And he's going to get out of there. No problems. Not losing any raiding cavalry. More longhouses coming down. Still no more units, so Skadi is on the way. Perfect play here so far from Shelty. And Joe's thrown up his bags. He's going to be a long way away from the heroic age here for sure. So we'll see how he's going to be able to do with this. The longhouse coming up, and he's starting to make throwing axemen. Raiding cavalry. He's going to immediately throw up a hill fort, or maybe go for the 3 town centers and go for a fast Ragnarok here as well as an option, because maybe it's fine because Joe's so far behind. But I guess Joe's not that far behind. He's cancelled villager production, actually, as he's trying to get to the heroic age himself. And there we go. He should be advancing now. Nephthys is on the way, but very much so behind Shelty's heroic age. And even though Joe's had this town center up first, I would argue, or probably, I reckon Shelty's probably got equal villagers, if not more villagers right now. And not only that, his villages are more efficient because the dwarves gather so much quicker than the laborers. And then the gather is also very, very strong. We do see Skadi coming in. There's the raiders coming through. The pharaoh coming over onto this location. We'll see if he can come around and hit this gold mine. It would be a very smart move. Hillfort come down on the front here in order to start making those Huskal. Wouldn't be a bad idea, but I'm not sure if Shelty even knows that there's a gold mine here. He's going after this watchtower again. He wants to kill it. Does open up these houses to getting targeted down, which is a smart place to be attacking because it really delays the Ra, or the set, I should say. Still no hill fort, as it's looking like Shelty a little bit low on the gold, having to move over here, still pumping dwarves out. Moving on to this location as well. The Nephthys has come through. There's the Migdol stronghold coming up onto this location. The spearmen getting sniped right now, and Shelty is making a move here. The priest already out, pushing this one in, and we see the ancestors coming in. Frost coming down, immediately going to catch a lot of those units. The raiding cavalry can now hit these villages over here if he wants to, while everything else takes down the Migdol stronghold. We'll see how this goes. Most of the ancestors are going to get sniped by these Hursa. The Frost Giant going to be able to clean everything else back up. We do see some mercenary cavalry getting produced from Joe in order to hold on to this push right now. Very smart to be building those in order to defend, but he's making mercenary cavalry for some reason. The Pharaoh does manage to snipe the Frost Giant. Shelty's got a lot of idols here, and this push here looks like he does need to take down the Migdol stronghold, which he is going to be deciding to do here, and that's going to delay Joe quite a bit, but now he just needs to retreat. There's no ancestors left, there's no frost left, and Shelty still pumping units really, really nicely. He's got some favor to play with now, so he can then throw up that hill fort and then start to deal with the chariot archers with Huskal here. We'll see where the raiding cavalry are going, looking like Joe's already moved over onto this hunt, or just moved over onto this hunt, which is a little bit unfortunate for Joe, as Shelty is going to be moving there immediately, as he's spotted that one somehow, or sussed that one out. We just see the villagers retreating back, and Shelty is spotting this, going to be moving in and hitting these villages. No, he was actually just going to the gold mine. He wasn't aware. He thought that maybe Joe was going on to that other gold mine. We see a siege works coming up. Still no hill fort for Shelty. Shelty is actually going to be under threat of a reverse push here coming through for Joe. This push is brutal because he doesn't have any answer to the chariot archers here or these priests that don't have funeral rites right now, but he does manage to hit the Scorpion Man, so he's going to be able to take that one down. The raiding cavalry getting thwarted by a one lone Scorpion Man, and now we're seeing Shelty getting pushed back even further. And this is just because those raiding cavalry weren't in the army. If he had the raiding cavalry here, surely he would have been able to deal with these chariot archers, but still not able to. He's finally coming back in, going to snipe the Pharaoh. More Frost Giants are in on this army, and that's going to force Joe back here. Do you see that this siege works coming up? Dwarven Caliber's just sitting here saying, you know what, you're building siege towers. Why don't you deal with this? Now the chariot archers focusing down these throwing axemen nicely. More raiders coming in, but still no heavy raiders from Shelty. We see copper shields coming through for Shelty. He's got his market up as well, maybe trying to get Mythic Age here. But I'm not sure if the answer here for is Ragnarok. It might be. It might be a Ragnarok pushing through on the top side and the bottom side at the same time. As Shelty's pumping units out very, very nicely here. He's actually full supply. Still pushing in, taking down all of these units very, very efficiently. More raiding cavalry coming in. How's the population? 116 to 124. As Joe's army just not strong enough. He's got so much gold in the bank. This is classic Joe. He actually needs to buy food in order to produce villages here, which he totally can do, as he is finally managing to do that. And now Shelty just going to retreat calmly. Still no hill fort. We do see some Scorpion Man raids coming in though. Very, very difficult to deal with, or Frost Giant is the answer. Smart play from Shelty. He is going to lose a couple of villages here. These Scorpion Mans kill off Gatherers in, well, it's 4 hits. But the Frost Giant comes in, and that's going to be a dead Scorpion Man. The Frost lasts for 20 seconds, so it's going to take a while for it to go down, but the Frost Giant should kill that one there. Now we see the Raiders yet again heading over onto this location. They're going to attempt to hit those villagers on the food. This gold mine is just about to run out. Do we see any? We see funeral rites coming in, but we're seeing Shelty advancing through Balder. This is the power of Thor. The economy is out of this world strong here. And he's just managed to just trade efficiently, get Mythic Age at an incredibly fast time. And Joe is nowhere near prepared to deal with a Ragnarok at this time. He doesn't have Masons. He doesn't have fortified town centers. He doesn't have medium infantry. He's got no mail upgrades. The villagers here are getting sniped as Joe is attempting to maybe get his town center or keep his villagers alive as they're running straight into this. We see heavy chariots coming through for Joe. Now the raiding cavalry retreating back, but the villagers going after this town center. We see the town center coming up for Shelty as well. The question is, how long do you hold on to Ragnarok? We're seeing copper mail, copper weapons coming through. The priests moving forward now for Joe, as he's looking to try and maybe snipe some of these frost giants. But the frost giants moving over onto this location. Maybe Shelty can prevent this. If he can move in, snipe the pharaoh, or snipe the villagers even is an option as well. There's no siege weapons over here to push through this undefended location either. Frost Giants just chilling in the middle of the map. The Pharaoh does get sniped. The villagers going down as well. Nice micro here from Shelty in order to pick those ones off. And now Shelty has got his fourth town center. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. The raid coming in. There's the Balder. And Joe just taps out. He's not even going to face it. He realizes he's too far behind. And Thor comes in to carry Shelty into the first win of this best of 7 series here. GG, well played by Shelty. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to restart stream, but all good. Unfortunately, Joe not being able to make it in this one. And that is just the game. Well played. I got nothing else to say. He just played this one basically perfectly. Unfortunately, Joe didn't get the damage done with the shifting sands, but such is life. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed these games, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.